Hey gang, good morning. It's Pruitt. Thoughts from the trail. Yes, the Mark Pruitt. The other half of Roberts and Pruitt, the Defiance, I always say Defiance. Roberts and Pruitt, the Defiance Daily Show. Every Friday at 11 a.m. live on Rumble. Wanted to jump on. This is going to be very short. Saw a X post this morning from I believe, a middle-aged mother. Apparently has a daughter who can drive. I couldn't get all of the insight, but this nice lady on Twitter or X was expressing her horror at the fact that apparently her daughter left the house, went to Walmart. Apparently they live in a smaller town maybe, or out away from a big city. Who knows? Everybody's got different definitions, but she alluded to the fact that this happened in their town and that you can't get away from it. So I'm just assuming it's not a sprawling urban area. The point of the X was, apparently at some point in this Walmart where her daughter was, I'm assuming her daughter was by herself. As the story goes, some guy was following this young lady and cornered her at the Walmart, and she felt in danger. Apparently, according to the mother's post, her daughter found an employee of Walmart and they escorted her to her vehicle and she was back home. So the whole thing, I don't have any details other than that. Okay, let's assume, number one, that this took place, and let's just assume a couple of other things. Number one, this young lady was scared. There was a guy in the Walmart that was following her and said something to the effect of, "I like you, why don't you like me?" Now again, this is through a third person. This is through the mother who was upset. A couple of things. Number one, and as a father of two daughters, I don't have all the details here. There is a possibility that there was a guy, maybe not the smartest fella in the world, maybe was just simply approaching this young lady to express that he found her attractive. Okay, I know in today's day and age that sounds horrible and completely unreasonable. I will remind you that not long ago, that if a male approached a female, even if it were in public, I mean, hopefully it was in public, that would seem to make it safer anyway, and make a comment, "Hey, you're very attractive, I like your smile," or what have you. That's how people met. That's how, that's how people went on a date. And that was very common. That's biology. Males and females, the urge to merge, it's strong. So I am saying it is possible that perhaps this male did not have nefarious intentions, maybe was socially awkward, maybe was a little weird, but maybe perhaps was 100% harmless. That is a possibility. It could have freaked out the young lady and she just overreacted. And that is okay. I'm not saying that's wrong. I can understand that. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying that she can't respond or react that way. So please do not put words in my mouth. I'm just simply saying maybe, just maybe, there is a chance that she was never in any danger. Here's another scenario. She was in great danger. She was in grave danger. Let's call it a worst case scenario, is a serial rapist murder that has not been discovered yet, that has left a trail of bodies across the United States where he has abducted young ladies from parking lots at Walmart. I'm not being facetious. I'm not being ridiculous. I am simply saying there is a chance that that could have been the situation, the scenario. That is within the realm of possibility. Both situations are within the realm of possibility. If that was the case, thank Jesus that this young lady is okay and she returned home and hopefully learned a lesson. With me setting the table that way, let me just give a little advice as a former police officer, Marine. I used to do personal protection, bodyguard work, different things like this. I don't claim to be an expert in those fields or that field. I do have a lot of experience. I've seen a lot of things, witnessed a lot of things. So this is my 2 cents. Immediately after this nice lady, and I'm assuming she's a nice lady. I don't know her. We are connected on Twitter, on X. She mostly posts political commentary, conservative political commentary. So I have no animosity against this woman at all. In fact, I like her. I like the stuff she posts. I think this is great. So this is just an opinion from somebody that doesn't know them, but looking at the situation and seeing the reaction, and most importantly, seeing the advice that she is receiving from all kinds of people on X on what she should do is absolutely terrifying. You get all the people saying, well, you need to give your daughter, get her some pepper spray. That's always a popular one. Oh God, where do I start on that? Let me just say this. Those of y'all that follow me at all know, and I've posted about this, I'm not a fan of giving females pepper spray. And let me tell you, well, I guess it doesn't hurt, but it does. And let me explain to you why. I have heard many females of varying ages, I have heard it in person. I have heard it on, TV, interviews, radio. I've heard stories. I mean, this is not uncommon. And I know every single one of you listening to this right now has heard this sentiment. When a female says something like this, well, I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have gone out that time of day or night, or I wouldn't have gone to this place, followed by, but I had my pepper spray, so I took a chance. This is why I am not a fan of pepper spray for females for self-defense purposes. It is a fact that people in general, but more so with females, sorry ladies, this is a fact, they are not the best at discerning dangerous situations, nor are they very realistic in their ability to defend themselves. Sorry, but not sorry. That is a fact, an absolute fact, 100%. I think it's much better if a female did not have pepper spray and then said, I'm not taking any chances of getting myself in a situation where I might have to defend myself. My contention is females who think like that and then follow up on it, i.e., don't go to Walmart by themselves, don't go out after dark. I mean, there's just a number of things. Females who think in that way have a much, much lower risk of getting their tit in a ringer and getting hurt or even worse. You can disagree. You can call me a misogynist. You can call me stupid. That's fine. I really don't care. But that is a fact, and it can be backed up. It can be substantiated with numbers, FBI statistics, you name it. Number two, when it comes to pepper spray or CS gas, bear spray, what have you. And I'm somebody who's gone through the CS gas chamber in boot camp. I've been gassed. I know what it feels like. We, pepper sprayed one another in the police department. I've been through this. I've actually experienced it. Ladies, if you think that your little dispenser, your little squirt bottle of pepper spray that has a range of about 6 feet at best, realistically more like 2 or 3 feet, which means the person has his hands on you, your little squirt bottle of pepper spray ain't gonna do a thing. To a male, we'll call him a male, because they're attacking you, so they're not a man, they're a male. To a male that is intent on hurting you or worse, your little squirt bottle of CS gas or pepper spray, or whatever it is almost 0% effective at dissuading a guy, a male, that is intent on bringing you harm. Here's one other little thing. I'm going to throw this in there too, just to piss the feminists off, and the simps, and the white knights. And you guys are all your own worst enemies. You cause more death and destruction to women than anybody else. Way more than the people like me who you call a misogynist. It is a fact. Most females who attempt to use their pepper spray in a situation like that, almost every time are disarmed. Almost every time. Again, say what you want. I've interviewed well over 100 rape victims in emergency rooms in Houston, Texas. And I can tell you from personal experience what they did, how it happened. And I am telling you, pepper spray does more harm than it does good. That is not to say that there has never been a case where a woman in a dark alley or parking lot picking up baby formula by herself got attacked by a guy. She deployed her pepper spray and saved her life and ran him off. I'm not saying that has never happened. I am sure you can find situations where that has happened. That is the exception. You can live your life, you can roll the dice, you can play the craps table, playing the odds, and constantly putting your money, your chips, on the exceptions versus the rule. I play the game of life in putting my chips on the rules, the way things most of the time happen. It's a pretty safe bet. Secondly, and it was mostly women, it was mostly men and simps. God dang, man, simps and white knights are just disgusting. If you don't know what that is, just do a Google search. Simps, S-I-M-P-S, white knights. Well, you need to enroll your daughter in jujitsu. Oh God, where do I start with this? First of all, let me say, is enrolling your daughter in jujitsu class a bad thing? I'm not saying that. And again, everyone is different. Everyone is different. I will say this, and I have seen it, and it has happened quite often. Much like the problem with pepper spray. Women will put themselves in situations that they should have never put themselves in, and I would add, probably would not put themselves in if they weren't delusionally confident in their ability to get out of a bad situation should it arise. And I use the word delusion because, unfortunately, feminists are delusional, and they tend to spread their delusion to young ladies and say things like, well, if you go to jiu-jitsu class, and get your purple belt or your black belt, then you can kick a man's ass. And then you watch shows like Lioness or, I don't know, all the movies out there where you see 115-pound females kicking the shit out of 220-pound Navy SEALs and Delta Force operators. I know that is ridiculous, but I am telling you, guys, any man knows that's ridiculous. Now, males, simps, white knights, post-pubescent boys, effeminate males, they're very feminized. So they'll see shows like Lioness and go, well, that's possible. Men, on the other hand, look at that, shake their head, and go, that's going to get women killed. And they're right. We are right. Men are right about this. We see these shows, we see these movies, we hear people saying things like, well, if a woman's a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, she can protect herself and defend herself and keep herself from being raped. Men, real men, hear that and we go, that's bullshit, not because we're misogynists, but because we're logical. We also understand the game of self-defense, protection, things like this. Real men see that or hear that, and our immediate thought is, that's going to get females killed. That's going to get females raped. And we're absolutely 100% correct. Am I saying, don't send your daughters to jiu-jitsu or karate or chick fu or whatever it is? No, I am not saying that. What I am saying is, if your jiu-jitsu instructor is not telling your daughter, hey, this is great, this is physical activity, this might lead to some confidence, things like this, but here's the deal. Here's how you keep from being hurt. You avoid situations in which there's a possibility that you can be hurt. That's the only way. If some guy, if an adult female is a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, I am telling you, a 13-year-old boy is going to kick your ass if he wants to. If he's out, number one, he's probably going to ambush you. There's 1,000 things going against you, ma'am. And I've seen it. I've heard females say it. Well, I wouldn't normally do something like that, but, I am a purple belt, or I am a blue belt, or I'm a black belt in karate, or kung fu, or jiu-jitsu, or Krav Maga. Krav Maga is my favorite because that's the cool one. That's the one that, even if you're only an 85-pound female, you can kick the shit out of a 250-pound active duty Green Beret Special Forces combat-hardened soldier. No, that sounds ridiculous. I've heard them say it. I've heard females say this, and it's not hard to find them. All I'm saying is, as a man, when I hear stuff like that, I shake my head and I go, that's the crap that gets women raped. That's the crap that gets women beat up, or even worse. And of course, the third bit of advice she was receiving on her X feed was, well, you got to get your daughter a gun. Again, I'm the biggest pro-Second Amendment individual you will ever find. I believe everyone has the opportunity or right, God-given, to have whatever weapon they want and as many as they want. And I mean any and every weapon. I am a purist. When that amendment was written, there are founding fathers that had the most advanced, technologically advanced weaponry of the day, including cannons. When they wrote the Second Amendment, there were no limits. The people have the right to arm themselves and protect themselves, and the number one entity that the founders had in mind was government. Citizens have the right to defend themselves against their government. Not only do they have the right to defend themselves, the citizens of the United States of America have the right to overthrow their government when their government becomes tyrannical. I just say all this to tell you this. I am pro Second Amendment. Anybody wants to buy a gun, they can buy a gun. I have no problems. If a woman wants to buy a gun, I encourage it. I think it is great. I think women, starting at a young age, should become proficient with knives and firearms. I am a huge believer in that for a lot of different reasons, many of which are not the scenarios in which you might be thinking. I will tell you this. Most women that I know, most, if not all, that own a weapon are not proficient. Now, can they shoot a fairly tight group at 25 yards with their Glock? Absolutely. How would they do in a high-stress situation in which they were ambushed by an overwhelming force, by a large male who was intent on hurting them in a bad situation, in a dark parking lot or whatever? We can come up with 1,000 different scenarios. How was she going to do with that? I am telling you, as a police officer, I didn't know any female officers that were proficient with firearms. Sorry, guys, didn't know any. I knew that they could do good at the firing range. They could get in the 10 ring almost every shot at 20 yards. Good shots. How were they in a high stress situation scenario where your heart is beating out of your chest, adrenaline is flowing, tunnel vision is locked in, and the pucker factor is at 10? I don't want to let this just turn into a big fight here over can women shoot a gun or any of these ridiculous things. Here's what I'm saying. Again, like the pepper spray and like Krav Maga, I have heard it so many times, and this is what gets women hurt. I am telling you, this is what you'd be shocked how many females are hurt, murdered, raped, or all of the above that are armed. Happens all the time. The FBI statistics on women, females, getting disarmed in an attack situation are astronomical. The other thing is, too, is most women are just going to hurt themselves. You buy a woman, you buy a man, I don't care who it is. You buy them a firearm simply to make them feel safer, yet they're not proficient with it. They have no range time. They've not been properly trained by some sort of a combat veteran who has extensive experience in this area. Ladies and gentlemen, I am telling you, unless you've been in a situation where your life was on the line or a loved one was on the line and death is literally facing you, you can feel its breath, and you have to if you've not been in a situation like that, you have no clue what that feels like. None. You do not understand how the body works, the physiology, what adrenaline does, what tunnel vision is, slowed down time, all these different factors. You just give somebody a gun and say, okay, now you can go to Walmart by yourself at 10 o'clock at night. That's the kind of shit that gets women hurt. It gets them hurt because they're going to do stuff that if they weren't armed, they would never, ever do. And that's my whole point. My whole point is here, believe it or not, and you feminists and simps and white knights and shout and call me names and misogynist and all that stuff, all you want, and that's fine. My only intention is to keep females safe. That's all I want to do. I want to prevent young ladies from being raped. I truly want to keep young ladies safe, because if you ever get attacked, your life is over. The chances of you being a good wife, mom, any of those things is greatly diminished because you have scars, you have all kinds of issues now that you should have never experienced, ever. And they don't go away. And it's right there. And you're constantly dealing with it. And you will constantly, whether you know it or not, people around you will pay the price for that. I want to keep women safe. Take this for what it's worth. You can get mad at me. You can jump on the feminist bandwagon. Or you can take a pause, take 3 deep breaths, relax, go back and listen to this again, take the emotion out, and just think about what I'm saying. I am telling you, the information I'm sharing with you right now will save, could very well save your life, could very well save your daughter's life. Just never forget this. I'm going to tell one story and we're done. When I was a police officer, I worked the mean streets of Houston, worked 10 district, which included the Houston Medical Center, the world-renowned Houston, the once great medical center of Houston, Texas. And I worked the night shift as well as the evening shift. When I worked the night shift especially, whenever a rape victim would come into one of the emergency rooms, and that was always either Ben Taub or Herman Hospital. They were right next door to each other down on South Main, Fannin, that area down there. Not South Main, but Fannin. They would, the hospital personnel, they had to call the police, obviously. They had no choice. So oftentimes, working late at night, early in the morning, that's my district, I would oftentimes get the call. Whether I was writing 10 Henry 59 that night, or 10 Henry 81, or 10 Henry 73, I could get the call, see sexual assault victim, Herman Hospital, Ben Taub Hospital, whatever. Show up. Unfortunately, back then, this was a long time ago, they sent male police officers. Golly, I think back on this and how crazy it was. They would send male police officers in uniform, obviously, we're street officers, to go in and interview this rape victim that had just been raped. It probably happened within 2 or 3 hours, and by the time I would get there, they'd probably already been examined by a doctor, gone through the pelvic exam, had all their underclothing removed, bagged, any area that they could swabbed, whatever, looking for DNA evidence or, that type of thing. It was all done. So here they are. They're completely shattered. They have gone through all this. And now I show up. Back then I was a young man. And I'm going to ask some of the most, personal, uncomfortable, you can only imagine, because I've got to write a detailed report of exactly what this person not only experienced, what they witnessed, what they saw, and what this person did to them. Every detail. This was horrible. I can't even imagine a family member going through something like this. Just horrible. Horrible. I hated these. I always felt so horrible for these victims. And this is what and I did over 100 of them. Easily did over 100 of them. Every single victim that I interviewed, investigated, whatever you want to call it, that I did a report on, every single one of them made the exact same statement. And here it is. I never thought this would happen to me. I'm going to leave you with that story, folks. And you can think whatever you want to think and think, well, those women were probably doing something stupid. And you would be right. You would be. Not only did every single person that I spoke to make that statement, not only did I feel horrible for every single one of these rape victims, I mean, just horrible, absolutely, almost nauseating. Here's the third thing. I never left one where I wasn't thinking, lady, What the hell were you thinking? Call me a misogynist if you want to. I don't care. I don't give a shit. But I am telling you, ladies, there are bad people out there. Are all guys bad? Are all guys murderers and rapists and all that? No, absolutely not. But there's some bad ones. And if you put yourself in the wrong situation at the wrong time, you're going to make yourself a victim. And you can complain all you want. Well, I have every right to go to Walmart at 2 a.m. if I want. Yes, ma'am, and you are correct. Yes, you do. Freedom is very interesting. We all have the freedom to do stupid stuff. You're free to do stupid stuff. But I'm telling you, ending up in that little interview room off from the emergency room there at Herman Hospital or Ben Taub, and some cop come in with a notepad, maybe not the most compassionate person in the world, and have to ask you where this guy put his thing and did he do this and did he do that? You want to be in that situation? You better start making better decisions and you better start thinking through this stuff. If you want to learn more about how to stay safe, genuinely, legitimately, if you want to learn more about how to stay safe, how to keep your daughters safe, guys, how to keep your wife safe or your girlfriend safe, hey, follow me on Thoughts from the Trail. Follow myself and my partner Travis Roberts at the Defiance Daily Show. These are some of the topics that we talk about. Defiance Daily Show is every Friday at 11 a.m. Central, live on Rumble. I encourage you to join us. It's an amazing podcast. We have a great time. We've got some interviews coming up very shortly that we've begun with very interesting guests. But anyway, I encourage you to join us. And hope all of y'all had a safe Memorial Day weekend. And until tomorrow or the next day, God bless. God bless you. God bless America. God bless your family. Stay safe. Count your blessings. And be grateful that you live in the greatest country on earth. And do something every day to preserve the republic or to restore the republic and preserve freedom. Do something every day. God bless y'all. Have a great day.